Antony Brophy, and I'm the Director of Business Development in the UK for a company called CoBuilder. Well, it was a long time ago. School time to me, I remember it being, I was into sports. I remember being in the rugby, football and basketball team. My favourite subjects were definitely art and woodwork. I always liked the fact that I could draw things, make things, and I would say at school, a bit like I am now, I was quite shy, but still tried to be outgoing and social. So that's how I describe my school time. Right, construction, it was never in my mind, to be honest. And I I was always working from university as a designer maker. That's where I ended up going. And I moved to Cardiff after university, and I got an opportunity to come up with a friend of mine who I used to go to university. We lived in the same house, to work for a company called the National Design Consultancy. And that was as a CAD operator, creating building services drawings, which meant nothing to me at the time. And little did I know that that would have a big bearing on the rest of my career. I never forget that. I was always about to enroll in sixth form. I was going to do a few retakes because I didn't get the grades I wanted to get into art college. I was very disappointed, so I thought I need to go there because that's what my ultimate target was, to go to art college. That's what I wanted to do. And the day I was enrolled into sixth form, I got a call from my mum to tell me I got in, which was a complete surprise to me and a big relief. Apparently, I got in on my portfolio of work rather than my grades, which was great to hear. And that's where I went from there. And I then enrolled onto a BTEC first diploma art and design course at Sutton College. And then I did history of art and design GCSE. I was interested in the arts and I thought, well, there's a GCSE for it. It became apparent. So I did that to add to my sort of qualifications. Then I went on to do a national diploma in three-dimensional design, which then led me to the University of Wales to do a degree in three-dimensional design. And then from there, I set up my own company. During the time during my own company, I worked as a contractor for a lot of design companies and engineering companies, and that lasted for about 12 years. And I got an insight then into building services and ended up being taken on full time at NG Bailey. And I was their sort of CAD manager for the region in Birmingham, Southwest, Bristol, etc. And then that then moved me into working for a tier one contractor. So I went from NG Bailey to Wilmot Dixon. I worked there as a digital manager for 5 years, and then looked at sort of transforming their business, how they deal with information management, really. So it's a lot of contractors looking at this right now. How do they better understand the materials they're using to install on site, and how can they be more data driven in sort of working that way? So from there, I then decided to move to CoBuilder because I actually worked with them as a customer at Wilmot Dixon since 2015. And I realised the potential for what the platform offers, so that is common language for construction. So I decided then that this is the place for me. Bit of a leap and going into a business development role, because it's new to me, because I've always been hands-on and technical. But to be honest, I'm loving the role. It's just meeting new people, understand what people are looking to do, and sort of solve problems. So happy where I am right now. What would I have done differently? I think I'd have had more faith in myself and my abilities, because I always remember my art teacher bringing me down. He used to tell me that I'd never go to art college because he was a big still life fan and wanted me to draw stuff that looked realistic, and I wasn't interested in that. I preferred to visualize things in my own way. I was always a fan of cubist artists like Picasso and abstract artists like Kandinsky and Miro. We saw the world from a very different perspective, and I think that's the way I like to look at things. I don't want to be the normal person looking at things, drawing a carbon copy. I've got a camera for that. So I would say that's what I do differently. I have a bit more faith in myself. Advice from a youngster. I'd probably say don't panic. I'd say, yeah, don't panic if you have no idea what you want to be. Follow your passion, and probably the future self will emerge. And all I wanted to do was draw and make stuff. And now I work for a company driving change for the global construction industry. So if there's ever a personal story to say, well, you didn't come from much, I'd say, look at my story, because I'm happy where I am now and doing a job that I love, which I never thought I would be doing. bye.